Hey guys, welcome back to the Big Game Hunters. It's Monday. It's Jason Berard, Landon Hood. We're bringing you a little bit of a show today. We're feeling good about it.
Loosey-goosey.
We're going to talk about the future of work and what it means for you. So what we notice, we work with a lot of different organizations in a lot of different industries. And what we're noticing is a cultural shift in typically how organizations are operating internally and what's really happening to just individuals coming to the job market. Millennials are different than baby boomers, and there's a lot of change going on, and a lot of companies that are getting a lot of attention are the tech companies, and they're doing all these amazing things with their culture. So we're going to talk about the future of work and what it means to you.
Yeah, I mean, the structure of what a career looks like is changing a lot of the time. It used to be the Homer Simpson model, right? You get your job, you work there for 40 years, bring your lunch pail to work, eat your donuts, and you're set for your career. We're looking more and more at resumes and more how, the dynamics of, are you an employee, are you a contractor, and how that's working. Yeah. And we're finding that it's a lot different. I mean, what a career looks like, and it needs to change. And you need to be flexible in being able to learn new skills, being able to be open to new opportunities, because, as much as, you don't like a candidate who jumps from job to job, that happens a lot more now. You'll go from being a software developer to being a consultant at another company, to being to starting your own business for a year, to and all the time you're developing new skills.
And to touch further on that point of a lot of people moving around, you call them job hoppers, what have you. It typically was 5 to 7 years was a career transition time. Good. Yep. Now we see 1 to 3. I think millennials coming into the job market. You talked about more entrepreneurship and things like that. I think millennials have the audacity to ask or to ask for things. Or think that they're worthy enough to be able to start their own business.
Sense of entitlement.
Yeah, totally.
Gotta love that sense of entitlement.
That comes from the technological advancements of amazing companies that have been able to provide us more access to information, provide us more resources to gain more knowledge, all these things, right? So, and the future of work, you don't need to be limited by the city that you operate anymore. Yeah. Because there's technologies out there where you can work mobily, and it works well, right? So I agree. I think, being able to be flexible, understanding that hierarchy of, big corporate structure, it's not going to be completely eliminated.
I mean, yeah, the corporations still run the world, but at the same time, just the dynamics of a workplace where the boss, it used to be the all-encompassing, know-everything boss, decisive, firm, solid, now you're right, with the age of information where, maybe the employees know more than the boss does because it's so readily available, and there's so many different things to learn out there that, now best bosses aren't the big, strong, scary ones that make all the right decisions. Of course it happens, but it's more the curious, open to new information, flexible.
Even to touch on that, so a lot of companies will have the flat organizations or open door policies, which is so amazing because you allow for an opportunity for collaborative people to come together. Great leaders will always hire people that they think that are smarter than them. But even at Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg's one of the greatest leaders in the world today. He has a giant glass office in the middle of the office where people can just come in, see him. They can look at it through the glass, look at what he's working on.
Literal transparency.
Yeah, he believes in the transparency, the openness of a work culture. So the hierarchy, you need to be able to adjust to that kind of being eliminated, and being able to lead from the front versus the back. All of these things, in terms from a leadership standpoint, as well as joining a new organization, that's definitely going to change. I think people really want to see more failure. And I know that that's a bold thing for me to say, but I honestly think managers and leaders today want to see you fail. And want to see you learn and grow from that, right? It's so much better for you to fail at something because the learning curves are going to stick with you than it is to have never tried something. So I think a lot of companies, we go in there, we listen to their culture. They say, our motto is fail fast and learn early. So being sort of audacious in your own beliefs and in your own work that you can do something, even if it isn't 100% accurate, having the, the confidence to go out there and put yourself out there is something that people will have to do if they're going to survive in the future.
You have to be way more willing to accept criticism, to go out there, put yourself out there, and be willing to fail, as you said, because you're going to be learning new skill sets. You're going to be opening yourself up to new opportunities. It's just got to happen. And in terms of if you're going out there and advice for candidates and how to navigate in this new sort of career workplace, and do you they say by 2019. Half of employees are going to not be employees, but actually contractors. And we're seeing this more and more where people, you're not as set financially. You're working almost for yourself, your own sort of little organization within an organization. And so it's important, for instance, to prepare yourself financially for that. You're not necessarily going to get a guaranteed paycheck every 2 weeks. You're not necessarily going to. So, the the possibility for awards are really high, and more so than just being an employee who's just clocking in, clocking out. But there's also more risk out there. So that's the risk reward ratio is
But
widening.
it's interesting. You talk risk reward. The risk is shifting from the company, if that's the case, to the actual person working for the organization.
Yeah, companies are getting smart about that. Yeah.
And why? Because there's actually resources in place where you can handle a contractor, remote or what have you, and cross border and things like that. And the reason that exists is you get access to greater talent markets. Like if you wanted to take a company public on the U.S. stock exchange, but you were a Canadian organization, you're going to have to find someone probably in the U.S. that's done it.
Yeah.
So like it gives you access to those markets. You don't necessarily have to immigrate on a contract or go through the immigration policy if you're going to hire on a contract. There's all these other ways around that. So I think being able to be prepared financially, embrace that level of discomfort in your work. I think that's where you're going to grow the most. There's a huge gap in between people not leaving the job market, staying in longer because either their pensions have been eaten away or what have you, and then you've got everyone coming into the job market that doesn't have a necessary role that's going to get them in that growth. So we've got about a 5 to 9 year gap. I don't know where the age falls, where if once these people leave, there's not going to be anyone to replace those roles. So what companies are going to be looking for is people that have the capabilities and the confidence to be able to take on those challenges.
And over the last few years and in the coming years, new roles are being carved out more so than ever. And that's why these, learning new skills is important, because nobody knew what a social media, manager was, 8 years ago. And there's going to be jobs that have come on, more and more. And
virtual reality will be huge, by the way. I don't know to what extent,
Oculus Rift.
But it's going to be huge for so many reasons. And there's going to be jobs in virtual reality. I don't know what yet. Like obviously, the companies themselves, they'll be hiring people, but it will create a new market of some sort. And it could replace a lot of things.
Yeah, no, exactly. So again, it's being able to, accept criticism, learn how to fail, learn new skill sets, and being able to be open to new opportunities. Because again, you're not Homer Simpson. You're not going to plug in. You're not going to plug out.
Yeah. So the future of work, to kind of wrap it up, you're not going to be going into an organization thinking that it's going to be a 35-year career. You're going to work your way up from the bottom to the top, and that's going to be your greatest opportunity and success. Companies are changing, industries are changing. There's not that much security out there anymore, and there's still a skills gap. So
opportunity, less security, but more opportunity.
Exactly. So you want to embrace that level of discomfort. Don't let the fear of failure get in your way, and never be shy of taking on greater responsibilities that your hiring manager or that someone assigns to you in the working role that you're in. Don't be afraid of different industries, and it's definitely going to help you in terms of wherever you want to go in your life. Getting rid of that fear of failure, seizing the opportunity. If a company doesn't want to bring you on full time and you want to work for them, become a contractor because you can, and they probably want you to.
Yeah. If you're not growing, you're dying.
If you're not growing, you're dying. Yeah. It's so important for today's job seeker or for today's candidate to keep pushing your limits, because like we said, security's going out, but more opportunities coming in.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the future of work. Flat organizations, collaborate with people, engage with your leaders, learn, grow. And we'll see you next week. This is Big Game Hunter.
Jason
Berard, Landon Hood.
Yeah.
See you then.
We out.